This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
Criterion referenced evidence of validity. Criterion evidence validity explores the relationship between scores and outcomes in a given situation. In any given learning setup, it can help determine students' ability as a result of the initial outcome that may be used to validate results. Besides, it offers a comparison between tests that are being carried out and other measures which have already been validated. For example, a student might have initially performed well in certain coursework. To validate his or her performance, a similar related test may be given to determine the validity of actual performance. If the given test is passed, then it will be criterion validity since the relationship has been determined. On the same note, criterion validity can be used to predict the future performance of students following the outcome of the first test. For instance, during an interview, students' performance in school can be determined based on how one performs in the first interview. This may aptly facilitate the prediction of a student's successive performance while at school. Completing all the test scores will also determine the criterion validity of a given situation since there is verification in place to assist in checking performance consistency among learners. It can be used as a basic admission criterion in most colleges since it allows them to select the best students depending on their level of performance. Hence, it is prudent to note that criterion validity examines test and other outcomes in the sense that it establishes the relationship that firmly connects test and outcome. For instance, the selection of lecturers in colleges is geared towards improving the performances of students in various disciplines. For a given test to be verified and considered valid, it has to be conducted based on a selection process followed by an assessment of lecturers. This will give overall evidence on the expected performance outcome of selected lecturers since they provided evidence of their performance. Content-related evidence of validity. Content validity addresses similarities between test questions and the subject area that it is intended to assess. According to a partnership between Pinellas School District and Florida Center for Instructional Technology, panels of experts are used to determine content validity due to the nature of their understanding in such fields. Content validity in higher institutions of learning has been moderated by experts in determining the validity of examinations done. Therefore, different approaches and examples can be used to explain content-related evidence of validity. For instance, students sitting and passing continuous assessment tests in a particular course unit is not a reliable way to prove that the course was well understood. A panel of experts can be used to test the validity of such students' scores and ascertain if they match the experts' expectations. Another way of measuring content validity in the educational system is by evaluating the content of the curriculum used by students. Curriculum evaluation can be used to examine the extent to which students are promoted to the next level. Under normal circumstances, students are promoted to having completed the curriculum without validating its content. As such, experts can be used to determine the content of the curriculum and investigate its validity in the process of promoting students to the next learning level. This will indeed result in validating its content. Content-related evidence validity is when the student's performances are measured bearing all the contents of the performed task. For instance, a syllabus will only be completed if the whole content is taught to students and it meets the objective of the course. Construct-related evidence of validity. Construct-related evidence of validity is a test meant to prove a certain aspect that has existed in a theoretical framework. It may also refer to the extent to which an assessment corresponds to the underlying theoretical construct which is supposed to be measured. For instance, it can be used to determine the level under which IQ questionnaires can be used to determine students' intelligence in the education system. Many people believe IQ questionnaires can be used to select intelligent students from others without proving the concept. It attempts to find the existing relationship between the hypothesis and reality to make it valid. For instance, it can be used to test the hypothesis that the performance of a student increases if he changes college. Construct validity will find the relationship between the new student and the college to determine the validity of the hypothesis. Construct validity entails evidence that supports the issue in question and corresponds to it in eliminating any doubts on the test. In most educational centers, students often think that some centers are more excellent than others. Fortunately, this may not be the case. Such kind of mindset can be used to form a basic foundation for construct validity in an attempt to provide some evidence for it. Construct validity also attempts to offer evidence for the underlying theories that many people have come to believe without any validation. In many cases, students have formed opinions that generalize certain facts without any firmly supporting evidence. For instance, some lecturers are perceived to be harsh towards students from certain ethnic and racial backgrounds in multiracial institutions. Nonetheless, this generalization is not considered valid unless sufficient facts are provided to support the hypothesis. If you want to find more works like this essay on criterion and content and construct-related evidence of validity, head over to ivypanda.com. It has a collection of samples with thousands of submissions covering virtually all academic subjects.